All righty. Good morning, my friend Tammy, my other psychic mom.
Hello, Julie, Psychic Mom.
How are
Hello,
you
friend.
today?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I am doing well today. Yeah. Today,
Good.
I just wanted to say that today is Tuesday, November 16th. Um, yeah, we're two psychic moms. We channel every week here as the number two psychic moms on YouTube and elsewhere, I guess, right? No, it really just channeled to go out to YouTube. There you have
Yeah,
it.
right.
Um, yeah. Okay. So Tammy and I met. Oh, I'm Julie Hawkins, the biz psychic. This is Tammy Langowski, Tammy's Intuitive Services. I always can't remember whether it's service or services.
Services, plural. Yes.
Okay.
Good
And
night.
together we're two psychic moms channeling for your questions and insight and knowledge, whatever our guides will give you. We're happy to do that. So please send us your questions. Uh, yes, we're here for your channeling pleasure, I think, as I have called it in the past.
Yes.
Um,
We are
yeah.
pleased to be here for you to do just that. So we do appreciate your questions.
Oh, so much so.
Yes.
So, so Tammy, if you want to start, because I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here.
Okay, sure. So we do have a couple questions we're going to address that somebody did send in or ask about. And the question is, there's a couple questions, but we'll start with this one. Will we humans ever be able to transcend our egos? Ooh, that's a good question.
So I have my own personal belief about that, which is probably not for eons and eons and eons and eons, if ever, because that is just part of the human makeup. That's what humanity is about. It's what drives us, right? It's what propels us to move and seek more. And it has its flip side as well. Now, my new teacher, and I don't know if I introduced my new teacher to you, and I have sat with my records open a couple of times. And for me, when I sit with my records open, sometimes it's just very quiet. It's a place for me to rest. So my new teacher is Alarie. I don't know if I introduced
I
that.
don't remember if you said that name before. If you said it sounds pretty.
Yeah, I cannot make that up. I just couldn't make any of this stuff up. I'm just not clever enough. And so Alarie is going to speak about this to me. As you said, Julie, humans are part of their characteristic and makeup is to have the ego. So as long as they continue to be in this human form, embracing the characteristics that they do, no, they will never let go of their ego. But that is part of the challenge for humans to work with, but never to let go, never to release it, it is always a dance. It is always a dance between your ego and your higher self and your conscious self, always. And so, so while you can learn to dance better, stopping the dance is not really helpful. And we think that is a misconception that your human race has. And we really don't see that down the line for you at all. It just doesn't really make sense. And it's so interesting. So Alaria is saying in our world, they don't really have, I can't really tell. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can't really tell if they have a body. He's saying yes, I'm calling him a he. He is saying, yes, we have a body. Oh no, we are asexual. This is a whole long conversation we cannot go into today. Our makeup is completely different than yours. Our world is completely different than yours. One day, if you would like, we will talk more about that. But this is about you and your humanity today. So let's see if my other guides have any. Tell me the question again.
The question is, will we humans ever be able to transcend our egos?
My other guides are saying, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? It is your ego that it is the driving force for you. So keeping it as your other guide, they call it a guide, as your other guide said, as you have said before, is really about keeping it in check and balance. And it is never static. You are always dynamic. You are always working and making them work together, so to speak. Okay. So it's keeping it in check. It's invoking your conscious will, your free will, and your higher self, who has certainly the connection that we like. Oh, really? Okay. The best, yes. And so it's just that they're saying it's in some ways it's really not different than what Ellery said, just saying it in a little bit a slightly different way. So handing it over to you, Tammy, and your guides.
All right. Well, thank you so much to, is it Ellery? Am I saying that right? Ellery.
Ellery.
Pretty name. Pretty or handsome name, whatever it is, but it's a very lovely name. Okay, so it's a really good question, because we humans here on the planet, and thank you for what your guides had to say, Julie, because that's very much in alignment with everything I'm getting as well. We feel like sometimes that's what we should be doing, is trying to transcend our egos, and understandably, we see how ego can get in the way of a lot of things. It can be really a positive thing, as Julie was mentioning. It can be a good drive and all that good stuff. But we also see, obviously, how sometimes it can be a thorn in somebody's side, so to speak. So when I'm opening up to that question again, what I get is, I'm sure it's going to be very much the same, because that's what I'm feeling as well and receiving. But they're saying, yeah, it's pretty counterproductive to try to transcend our egos while we're on the earth plane in a body, because indeed we learn through our egos, and this is what's the many of the lessons are wrapped around the ego in itself, is how they're showing it to me. So when you come into a lifetime, your ego serves you in many ways, and of course then they said really does serve you in many ways. Now some people can take it to the next level, as we know, and we know people who do that, where it's really self-sabotaging to them in their growth. And they're learning the balance of really how to, do the ego, how to, be in the ego and still be able to be kind to others and compassionate and those sorts of things. So in this lifetime, in the body you're in now, we do not see you ever transcending your ego. That's not a bad thing. We understand your question though, because in a sense, it's transcending ego, meaning more of the negative side of it. Again, a good question to ask. And that can certainly be individually worked on, for lack of a better way of saying it. It's something that you can, you are here to expand your consciousness, they're saying, and to step out of ego. So bravo and kudos, I'm hearing, to the ones who are really able to dip into that other side. And so what they're kind of showing me is meditation, really, where we can release ego for a period of time and be able to go into that really beautiful space of home, really, and to remind ourselves what it's like not to be in the ego. And we can have those moments through meditation and being, where we find ourselves really sitting down and trying to be calm and quiet. But the ego will serve us in many ways. It also, again, when we see it very highlighted in other people and very extreme in other people, it's a great, they said, trigger for you, perhaps as individually is what they mean, because then we are learning something from that too, as well, something we're needing to take a look at. So if we're very highly triggered by ego of anybody else, it's really a reflection within ourselves. And who hasn't been, quite frankly? We've all been triggered by that. So nobody's perfect in not being affected by, ego in itself, whether it's our own or somebody else's. So again, I would say what Julie has been receiving to that question, that while we're on the earth plane, no, because we actually come in to learn through the ego, and it's a really important part of our spiritual growth while we're here. So they're quieting with that.
Exactly. And all beautifully said. As you were speaking, they showed me when you are, first of all, if you're aware that you have it, then that is 9/10% of the issue. That's 90% of the battle, so to speak. And so just having that and being aware how that can impact you or those around you is really the bulk of the problem, right? Or the bulk of the battle. It's where you have somebody who is so out of balance, like Mr. Trump, who only really sees himself, where it's completely the opposite. It's 90% out of ego and 10% probably, I don't know. I don't even know what the other 10% would be. I think it's all ego personally. They're saying no, but I don't know what it would be. Oh, survival, whatever that is. That's part of the ego though.
Mhm.
So that's when there are problems, and people come into lifetimes to experience that. It is not, oh, why do they have to be here? Because that's what I think. But that's their journey. And clearly there's a bigger picture and a bigger learning for all of us as this is, happening, and the reason why this is happening. So personally, it scares the bejesus out of me, but that's me. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and we appreciate that one, because egos are a big deal, right? And so many of us are dealing with, like I said, whether our own, if we admit it, or somebody else's. That's just really always triggering us. So yeah, I hope that's helpful for you on that. Another question that we had, or is that okay, Julie? Or did you need anything more with that? Okay. So another question that I think, we could go into also is, will humans ever transcend violence? What can we do about it now? The tail.
Damn cat. No, just kidding. That was okay.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. At a cat.
Well, I was like being violent with it. Oh, never mind. It was a joke that went way out of nowhere. Okay, so the answer to that is there is possibility for that. There's always a group of you who strive for that. But you see, the problem with it is that you're all, the collective, we'll say people on Earth, you're always in different places in your evolution. And so while group A, made up of 40% of the planet, says, yeah, we're tired of this and we just all want to live in peace together, why can't we all just live in peace together? The other 30% are saying, yeah, it's mine, I need to take it. And they're very tribal because that's where they are in their evolution. And the other 30% or whatever is left is saying, we don't care, can't even think about it. I just do my job and go to work and try to, have a life. So everybody's really in their own world, and to imagine you all in the same place at the same time, we don't see that happening anytime soon either. And when we say soon, we mean decades, centuries. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for us. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Thank you for that. And if I pose that question to my guys, will humans ever transcend violence? Wow. They said never, ever, ever. That's what I heard. Okay. Because again, kind of what you were stating, Julie, we have such a diverse group of people on their paths, spiritual people learning different things in different ways. So what's interesting to me, and what I was kind of thinking with this question too, is, interesting that we choose then to come into a lifetime where, if there's many of us that are so against, let's say, really against violence, yet here we are, right? We're like, sure, I'm going to come on and, get into the melting pot here of just everything. and see how it goes. So again, they're showing me though how those people, the people who are, I mean, we're going to say nonviolent, meaning who hasn't been angry and, but, had thoughts of things. Okay, humans, we tend to do that sometimes. What I mean is we won't act on those necessarily. And then there's the people who will, obviously.
Yep.
So, but they're saying the people who are more the light workers of the world and the people who are here for, really about compassion and helping others and so forth, are here also and have placed ourselves here to be the light for the others and to help to bring some teaching, possible potential teaching to those who are in that capacity. Now we know those who are in jail, I'm just saying jail, they're showing me that, who have been incarcerated for heinous crimes and violent crimes. They will have the help there if they reach out for it, as we know, even within the system. How good is the system? That begs to differ, I suppose. But they're saying there are people who will come in who are maybe not even affiliated with the jails, for another way to say it. But there might be other outsiders that come in to help as well with that. So it's really about, will we ever transcend violence? No, not in the earth plane. That's, definitely what I'm getting. The second part of that, what can we do about it now? We can again be that light. We can just be that light, and we can continue practicing compassion and putting that energy out into the world. And I know those of you, or the person who asked this question understands that. So I'm really not saying anything that you don't know, but I just want to put that out there for everybody else as well, that, it's really just to be here so that we can be a voice for change, possibly. And then again, be compassionate ourselves so that we can kind of balance that energy, because I don't think it's ever going to transcend it. It will just, if anything, balance and help to, that's our hope, right? So that's what I'm receiving on that.
Yeah, it's very connected to the other question. I mean, we're here as humans in the form that we're in for very specific reasons. Eventually, we may evolve into something else, but that is a long way away.
Yeah, agreed.
Or maybe we'll be interesting. What they showed me was it's not really a question of evolution of the species, but more a technological manipulation of us as a species. And so I hope I'm not around for that. I mean, I don't want to come back.
Yeah.
It's that would be the next phase. It's creating more technology, and then who has the say over that, right?
Right.
It's a big question. So
yeah. I would just, I'm just going to add to that. Or I was just say pretty much to what we were speaking of earlier, that when we say about what we can do about it now, we know about the light and being compassionate. What I see too is they're showing me again, if we see things on TV, which we all do, on the news and all that. I know we've talked about these things kind of before, but when it's things about violence in particular, maybe taking a moment, because often what we do is we either get sucked into it and get angry, or we are just hurt. It's just like we're taking on the empaths of the world are kind of like, bringing it on. So again, protect your energy. First of all, if you're going to be watching any news cast, nothing wrong with watching the news, but just make sure you're protecting your energy. But you might, when we see, again, I'm seeing a picture of, let's say it's been about a jury trial of somebody who's done something. They're showing me like blowing kisses to really everybody. Obviously, the person who has committed the crime, energetic hug and sending love to them. And of course, the victims. Naturally, I'm not certainly glorifying the person who's done the nasty deed, but you get the point. That's what we're saying too. What we can do now is just kind of send the love. Says it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to send the love. So
we are in a very unique time. We all chose to be here at this time. So anyway, thank you for that. Yeah. So I have a request. It's not a question. It's kind of a thing that happened over the weekend, and I'm going to ask just for I'll just say prayers to send to these. So let me just tell the story. We're going to segue here, okay? What happened to my? Oh no, there we are. My mouse froze. So I walk every day, well, except Sunday. It's my day off, and on the corner of my street, there were two dogs who just really beautiful dogs, but really, really neglected. And so they really kind of looked forward to me and my friend going by and paying attention to them and playing with them through the gate, through the fences we could every day. And just being somebody paying attention to them, right? And they were prone to getting out. So I was with my sister on Sunday in Santa Cruz. And when I came back, my friend called me and she said, I have the funniest story. I was in my basement and I heard animal control here. There's some dogs in your yard. We just want to let you know that we're going to get them. And she's like, what? And she came out and it was the two dogs, Aqua and Negra. And so they eventually, by the time I got home, she was telling me the story as I was around the corner. And by the time I got home, they were at the house on the corner and trying to get a hold of the owners who were not answering. And I had kind of a long conversation with them, and I really moved me to tears a couple of times because these dogs could be such wonderful pets for somebody. And so if it's okay with you, I want to share the screen and just show them.
Yes, absolutely.
And they were taken to let's see, wait, I have to open my, oh my God.
Julie, you said they've just been left out in the yard? Is that?
They were in this person's yard. It's fenced in, but they were never brought inside. They were always outside, fending for themselves. Yes, they were fed and had water, but that was it.
Yeah, I know.
And one of the dogs really, I mean, he would just bare his teeth sometimes, and he's still a puppy, and he just really needed to, let's see if I can share this. Can you see my screen? Can you see that?
Yeah, I see a picture here, but it's not of the doggies.
No, so I have to, please ignore all my wild and woolly pictures. Let's see if I can get the dog pictures. I don't think you can actually see the pictures. You're just seeing, are you seeing any pictures?
I'm just saying, I see, yeah, I see the two dogs now. Okay. The white dog and the black dog?
Yeah, so here, let me just run this. Are you seeing the video?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Little Aqua. Babies.
They're just so, I mean, it's so neglected, right?
So they're just you've never seen humans like interacting with them or anything, Julie? I mean, you never seen the owners?
Look at this. No. Look at this face.
Oh,
is that the most beautiful? She was a filthy mess. I will close this now.
Really? Okay.
She was also just filthy, just chewed up back end. And, we would talk for a while and say, I kind of wish animal control would come and get them and really clean them up and get them to a new home. So my request by saying this and sharing this is that we really put out, so here's what happened. I talked to them, the animal control guys, for, like I said, a long time. They even let me say goodbye to the dogs who were scared pooplish,
Yeah, yes.
And like, why are you leaving me here?
Yeah.
In the cage. Why am I here? Just really just heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he said he gave them a citation, $100 each. They could either come and pay for the dogs and get them, or release them and sign them over to the city and then, get them good homes. And so their neighbor next door yesterday told me that that is exactly what they're doing. They're letting the dogs go.
Thank God. Really?
I know. And hopefully they will just, so that's my request, is for anybody who watches this, they're Aqua, even Negro, once he's trained and just, has somebody who cares about him,
Yes, absolutely.
they'll just go and they'll be great home animals, pets for somebody. She's just a sweet dog. I'm gonna say she's probably about 5 or 6, and he's maybe a year or two. He's still really
Okay.
young.
Cool. Yeah, right.
So
Right. No, I think that's great that you showed that. And yes, if anybody sees that and can give them a good home or know somebody who could, you know how to get.
yes, let me know on YouTube. I have a case number for them. And
Okay,
it should be
perfect.
up on the website soon. I'm gonna go check that today.
Okay, good.
There's also another husky like that. I'm like, oh, Aqua's cousin. So mostly they're pit bulls on the site, and thankfully there aren't a whole lot, but
Yeah.
she just has the potential to be the sweetest pet. So
Well, I'm going to certainly say a prayer and request. It was Aqua, and what was the other one's name?
Negro.
Negro. Okay. So they're on my prayer request
So-
tonight.
So
for sure.
that's all my stuff for today. Is there do you want to do any kind of closing or anything about that, or?
I think we're just good. Let me just see if there's just something they want to just say. Okay, so just last words that I'm getting, it's not anything necessarily to anything that we've been talking about, but they're just saying to really make sure to keep yourself present. And I know we've probably talked about it before. It's something that comes up, but that is what they're just saying again. If we have anything to say today, it's please see where you're at. See where you're at. Where is your energy? Where is your energy? If it is too far out there and too wide and too chaotic, just notice. And they're going back to the breath, like we did last week, the deep breathing. We always say like 3 cleansing breaths really brings you back. And Julie had a great little idea too of just using your senses and paying attention to what's around you and going through the, each sense that we have. So that helps to ground you and be present as well. So that's what I'm receiving right now, just a reminder of that.
I think that's beautiful. And I think that may become our standard closing or something like it. I mean, they'll give us whatever they,
Yeah.
as they have, but
Yeah.
it's really for you that we do it, so you can't hear it too much is what we're saying. So
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
So until next time, go find us on YouTube, Two Psychic Moms. Tammy's chatting all over the place, and
Tammy's channel chats, another place.
I'm writing a book with 2 other women, so
Awesome.
that's my big project right now. And aside from that, and giving readings, and yeah, you know our drill.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for continuing to view us. We'll see you next week.
Send us questions. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.